mind is something. I don't even know what her favorite thing is.
We're talking about spirituality. That's what her favorite thing is. And that's what
that is a wonderful
all of these conversations end up leading to.
To
yes,
make
of course you can.
Spirituality an everyday.
So we having a freestyle session here. This ain't even recorded for the channel. It'll probably be posted to the channel at some point. But as you see, I ain't even got my hat on. So, bow.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it.
Cool without the hat.
Talking about spiritual experiences and sharing the reality of their life and relations to spirit.
Right. These are just things that I went through that are like any other piece of my life. I just tend to hold these a little more dear, some of them a little more dear to my heart.
Yeah. I find that most people have had some sort of spiritual experience in their life, and what we generally find with that is that people are, like you said, they hold it close to themselves. It's not something that.
So that's what I want to interview you about, right?
Talking about, generally speaking.
Basically, that's what I interviewed him about. That's what I interview you about. That's what I interview people about.
So I think what may be important for me to understand is.
So they're a little afraid maybe to share. They don't want people to look at them like they're, crazy. Even though a lot of these people have probably had experiences themselves.
That's why it ends up being an hour or however long.
Right.
Because I let it just flow.
We have experiences that are outside of what we're comfortable with.
Speaking of my sensitivities, Charles, I got another
like a
favorite
defense mechanism almost to.
Yeah, I put it out all 10 days.
From your mind.
Man, that's been a long time.
He like
A long time.
All the smoke's going.
Years. Not
Incense and shit I could kill.
They happen to follow. And there's such a wide array that I kind of I've struggled with that.
So yeah, she like went to Bali, bro, and she met Jesus.
But I've kind of went beyond that now and said, you know what, my experiences are mine. Nobody's going to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my experiences, even if people.
But anyway, so how I usually start the show is I ask.
Well, I definitely agree.
Here, but prior to record, I'll say this, because to be honest, this is the way I'm going to have a conversation. I don't like to twist them the whole time.
Like yourself
are normal.
You just hopped off the picture, though.
Oh, but is this recording now?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, we're just chilling, though, So what I was going to tell you is what I usually do is ask what when the first time you recognized there was something spiritual to life outside of what everybody tells you.
Everyday conversation of part of our
No, you good. I just,
my idea is that
we ain't finna have the interview.
No, spirit.
No, we're just recording us.
Usually,
chilling.
this is our
just talking
natural
shit.
form that people are trying to
What's going on?
It's a freestyle session.
All right,
we just freestyle.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just explaining to you what it is.
The soul or the spirit having a physical experience.
So you see what the interview about now?
One of the things that
you understand what I'm saying?
You just kind of turn to them and
I ask you,
what's your take on it?
What is your first initiation or initial, experience with some form of spirituality?
Recognized as real.
And then they talk about it, and then we go from there.
Right.
What did it do to you? What did it make you think? How did you feel about it? What did it change for you?
Go ahead,
I lost my train of thought.
Where did it take you?
It's fine.
How did you redirect your life?
Experience.
Well, I just,
and then other people can see it and grow from it, right?
Naturally, passing it forward in a less expensive way, less costly. No less valuable, but
it ain't less costly.
You're not gonna have to suffer through it all just to get there. I'm just gonna hand you a few things. It's really easy, like exactly.
Yeah, if you've heard his story and his story and his story and his story, exactly. And you get it right. That makes sense, right? Everybody can get a little bit off everybody else, then nobody's feeling like, it's such a struggle.
You know that there was something going on.
Oh, yeah, okay, my man said he went through this. Oh, yeah, I heard somebody else talk about that. Like, that's why I watch NDEs.
The first one I can remember was
not that like near-death experience.
My background is, I grew up in a Christian home.
I like hearing about
with the roots and the Pentecost.
What they say, the experience and the information. Because usually when they go, if they come back, they have some information. They have some wisdom. They have something to share.
They feel a little more purposeful.
We all went for the ice cream.
And they have some information.
So you said
all the ingredients to go.
The roots.
It didn't go, so why?
The roots.
Oh, the roots.
And
very interesting story.
You know, because that last minute it may, may cross your mind. Well, what if?
We didn't go to church every
someone's a
Sunday,
little.
but my mother would
What if
go
I
to
had
different
another
ones
minute?
and try
What
them
if I had
out.
another
We
10
were
minutes?
on our way
If I
to
had a
church
chance to
on
go hug my son one more
Sunday,
time.
and I was
If I had
just
a
kind of
chance to
gazing
go,
out the window, and I just remember
behold
thinking, why do
the
I even have
sunrise,
to go
whatever it is.
here?
Like,
You know, why is she making me do this?
So look at this.
Is God even real?
Well, here go this. Here's the thought, right?
would I sleep in?
So what you're talking about is like them last 10 minutes, right? Like when people talk about shit like that, I always think about like you said, the last fucking 2-3 days of your life, right? Or weeks or whatever. You fucking know you're finna get out of here.
Man.
What do you know, I don't want to be a person who got regrets.
Right.
You know, like about shit that I didn't do, or shit that I wanted to do, or shit that I thought I should do, or try to do, and didn't do. I don't want to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be the dude who failed and kept making mistakes and got clowned because he just keep fucking failing, versus the dude who just sat there with that shit inside of him and then going, saying, I could have been great if I'd have tried this. I knew I should have did this. I don't want to do that. That's my greatest fear, bro. I don't fear death. I fear
regret.
I fear not living.
Oh, poor life. Yes.
Yeah, I fear fucking not living. I fear not leaving it all on the table, as they say. Mm-hmm. All on the field.
I think we're all guilty of that. Playing it safe to some extent.
Fuck playing it safe. I don't like that. That shit weak.
Admittedly, I will say, Charles, in my experience,
I ain't saying you shouldn't play it safe. I'm just saying playing it safe is the design of a weak ass life, bro. You gotta push something.
It's very difficult to break free from just the rat race if you don't make it, and it takes some initiative.
Yeah. You gotta push something, you gotta try something, you gotta be willing to fail. And if you ain't, man, you scared.
I think if you honestly took this interview to the streets and interviewed people that live hard, like in bad poverty, addiction, mental health issues, again, it might be like the catalyst we spoke about earlier, the sharing in general is the catalyst, but now they're sharing with people who have very much more deeply experienced in this management of their impulses. Like we might feel like, well, I have to manage my impulse. I want to be comfortable. Well, gosh, this vest is a little tight, and my tie, just don't care for that hue. And so I will, but I'm a man, and I will be comfortable. So you're overcoming this, and you succeed today.
So it's like you hitting hierarchies of humanity, and that's like not a reality in my opinion.
I don't know if you call it a hierarchy, but I think of it more as a level of experience. So this person's level of suffering, apparent level of suffering, is, to themselves, their own experience is fairly significant. But when it's viewed in context,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's readily humbled. Yeah.
So I mean, like,
so just not to discount the people that you might easily just not count.
I mean, I would probably more quickly discount the "oh my tie" motherfucker than I would the dope fiend.
Mm-hmm. But then the "oh my tie" guy, now all of a sudden you crack into it and like, wow, he may have his own trip.
I'm sure,
right?
I am.
We almost undoubtedly, right?
Undoubtedly, yes, undoubtedly does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm just saying my relativity to the character of the person, of the being, right? Most likely gonna be. I would probably know the dope fiend before I would know the extra snooty. My tie is the bullshit, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So. I'll probably.
The thing is, some of those cats are really carrying weight. Like for an individual who, I mean, literally as well as.
We can talk about this hypothetical rich dude.
Hypothetical rich dude, and we could just start spitting out names if we want to have a.
So this one,
right? What I mean is that any error on their part is easily magnified. In the sense that a person who influences maybe very few others. They make a difficult choice in life. Maybe they suffer, maybe a few in their sphere suffer, but when this other fellow with the wealth of the world is doing it, and now, it's more easily felt, and in a material way, and it's easy to span a huge array of people.
Yeah, I agree. And that goes, like you said, to the thing of, you know, when they say people, you know, they say people of great influence are also, you know, carrying the weight of the great burden of it, right? So it's like it's a saying that they have. I'm trying to think of the exact phrase that they use. He who is right, like it basically is saying he who wears the crown must bear the weight of it type shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Naturally.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. So yeah, I guess it's, if you're talking about at that level, but I'm just saying, I don't know when a motherfucker worry about their tie. To me, I don't know. It just seems. I understand what you're saying on some level. That's an effect to the motherfucker who, you know what I'm saying. But in my life, that's just like, man, that's not relevant.
And I'm gonna say, you might find an emperor who worries about his time. You might find an emperor who sees it as it is. And so that I'm not disrespecting the emperor. I'm disrespecting the way the mind plays at times when it's sort of unclear whose direction is being pursued.
So you know about the tie thing though. I've had the same analogy with like you and me, right? We walk out the house and you know we're going where we going. You dress business today, so if you had a button missing or a screen that you saw under your shirt, right, and then you all day,
right in.
always the rest of the day, you thinking, are people seeing the string?
Gotta shake it, man. Gotta shake it.
Are the people seeing the string? Right? Are the people seeing the string? You worried about that all day, right? And that's the same shit the king worrying about, right? Oh, my fucking tie, right? It's the same shit, right? And so I don't know the relevance of shit like that. You know, it's like we let little things that are not really important be major things in our life. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So we've all had that. I mean, I think that's a process like, oh, my zipper broke and nobody knows, but you feel like the whole world know because you're outside and you know your zipper broken.
Right,
Everyone
regardless
you
of
like,
the rest of the world. The idea of feeling that, like for me, for example, I'm less concerned, seemingly less concerned about that opinion than I am about the thing itself. Like I'm like, you know, give me a blank sheet of paper and put a little speck on it, my lord. The speck. You know? Right? So just shaking that. And I heard it was an Islamic poet. It was a friend of mine. I was staying with her and she had this in her bathroom. And it's like always, I see it again and again in life. And it's personally a good one because, like I say, it's a spec thing. And I can't say for sure Hafiz, Kabir, Rumi, one of these top dogs, and so you've been invited to this divine banquet, and here you find yourself crawling after the crumbs, or why waste it crawling after crumbs? And I'm just like, isn't that beautiful, right? We have all this, and we have this beautiful slate of canvas, blank canvas, and yet why waste it crawling after the speck? You know what I mean? Cannot. I think that is almost more related. I think that could be related directly to the nature of what we're created into and that God made, right? The existence that God made versus the existence that men have made, which we attach to. That is the speck. Well, I think the key to that, to releasing that attachment, is in acceptance. And I think when you accept that, whatever it is that seemed you were some way agitated, you had felt this agitation, you're mismanaging the sense of impulse of agitation with respect to something being different. Okay, well, it's different. It presents, an additional bit of mental energy now. We have to do an additional calculation. There's a
something to navigate.
Yeah. So you accept the spec and you embrace the spec, and now you recognize the spec is part of the canvas, and now you're ready to go. And maybe that now is a starting point for your entire masterpiece. And yet it was by way of not feeling apart from the spec, feeling as though the spec didn't belong. Always living in this world of should. I'm not even accepting the reality that already happened to me because I should have went a different way, and I'm replaying that. I'm like, please don't. we already know, it. Reality has spoken. You know what I mean? That's already exists. So you got and so as we were speaking earlier, Charles, it's the same thing, like in the deathbed, right? Mm-hmm. In the deathbed, you think about this, you can be regretting, this opportunity lost, or you're gonna be saying, hey, we really give it a good shot. Man. It was the old college try. Like there was no, like I say, you put it all on the table. You're all in, right? You lived it fully. And so,
but this the trick, right? We still, in my opinion, we still talking about the spec, because on some level, right? See, the spec to me is the man-made world, right? So my shit is that's the spec for me, right? Like the canvas is God's world, right? That's the beautiful blank canvas. Then the spec, right? The spec is this bullshit matrix we got to navigate, right? Mm-hmm. We got to do shit in the world that men kind of govern more so, right? And so by the end of the deathbed, right, I feel like the goal for me is to remove the fucking speck from my perspective. That my perspective is the clean blank slate again. I don't want none of this shit with me. You know what I mean?
So a return to the purity, to the
yes,
innocence.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that sounds like to me Huxley and Blake. We have Jim Morrison of the Doors, right?
Okay.
Drew on the work of Aldous Huxley, who was quoting William Blake when he said he referred to the doors of perception. And so then this is how Morrison birthed the name of the band and went on to, inspire tons of people. So he was, when the doors of perception are cleansed, so right, your canvas is wiped clean again.
Yeah.
Things are seen as they truly are.
Right.
Infinite. And so it's the lens by which we perceive the world. Yeah. And so if the lens is skewed, how are you going to come away with a clean picture?
That's the question. How do you cleanse the lens? What does it take to cleanse that? That's the true question. And the ultimate answer to that would simply be that realizing who you truly are has no negativity in existence, because you can't be a duality of who you are. You are oneness from there. There's no duality, in my opinion. This is where I think I can come in here. Yeah. In my opinion, there is no God, there is no devil, because if you're looking at a devil that is equal to God or even close to playing on his level, that means there is a duality there. God, in essence, would have created the devil. So there is no duality. There's just a mindset that says, I'm less than what I should be. And that mindset of saying I'm less than what I should be means the only way to find it is to go inside and see what you should be, and that is to profess the greatness that lies within you. Source gave you a soul. The soul feels this life through this body. Therefore, what fills that soul? The trueness of essence, which goes and moves about and literally have our being, the Bible says. So the only way to get there is to think positive, know who you are, and that will encourage you to see things clearly, that, hey, all this is made for me. Everything should be positive, even though I see darkly, as you would say. Sooner or later, it will be made plain. But how do you get to that plain side? Is seeing it, speaking it, believing it, no matter what comes your way. Because any moment of doubt is less than who you are. And you are settling for that every time you exist. Every time you allow that thought to exist and stay. Anytime you dwell on it, you're putting it on a conveyor belt of thoughts that are coming down to you. And it's like, hey, you want this one or this one? I don't want that one. So the universe it's no devil. There's just like I'm blocking all these things that really aren't you, so you can excel in the thought process of how great you are, because you manifest everything. You're a spirit. And they that speak in spirit shall bring it forth in past, just as God said, so shall my word be. And go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void. You're a mini version of that spiritually. So what you think about spiritually comes about. That's how your life is made. So the very next decision you make in life could be your very most important. So therefore you won't regret, because now you're making decisions that will extend your life, because that's who you are.
And hold on, let me say this. I love that. Let me say this because I know the nature of the men sitting here, because I do, but then we got to go why. But what I'm saying is, that is what I remember, because one time you came over and you were talking about, did I do it right or something with that girl? Mm-hmm. And I was like, bro, I know you. And by the steps of your everyday processing and the way that you think, you could not have done it wrong. You know what I mean?
And it goes back to the shoulds.
Well, it goes back to like you just said, there's no way you can do it wrong, because if you look at the situation as it is, it's not a right or a wrong decision. It's just a decision that, hey, the spirit has a thought process and this body you live in has a thought process. Which one are you more attained to? And some people, we can go really deep. Some people look at things that have happened to people, happened to kids, and say, how could they? Well, they've got a decision to look through the flesh or the eyes of the spirit that says, why would I? So there's a decision that's got to be made, and once we realize the true ultimate decision of love, that's the only thing that wants to express from us, and then we see clearly that, wait, things are a lot better here than what I thought, than what I would receive, because I'm manifesting things, even though I don't see it now. I got to remember, I've already spoken it in the spirit. Now it's got to take time to get to me, because my life has been so filled with doubt. I got to clean that out.
Right, the doubt is paralysis.
Yeah.
And that's speaking, you've answered your own question within the idea of how is the lens clear, right? And then it's by way of acceptance. We're no longer living in the should have been it differently. We're recognizing is totality, and hence can't be fear mongering. No, this is a love,
Right.
And so it's like it goes back to the question that Judas Iscariot. All right, so same as like the God-devil angle. We have.
I like this God-devil conversation. I really want to get into that.
The same thing. Bob Dylan came through saying, "Now I can't do it for you, and so you'll have to decide whether Judas Iscariot had God on his side." And I think we've clearly addressed that already, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a place to play. He had a role to fill. That was his job.
And so the thing I think about the devil, when people talk about the devil, like, okay, so when people say, "Oh, the devil doing this," where was I at work? I was at work. The devil sure work. My man he kept saying, I was like, yeah, God is too. He said the devil sure at work is able. Yeah, God is too. So it's just we going back and forth. And ultimately, it's hard to explain to somebody what you know when you know that the devil is not what the devil seems to be to people, right? So, but we can do it. So ultimately, I was like, I just let it go. But what I was saying about the devil, like, I was having this conversation with my sister, and I was saying, like, the devil is not like the equal to God, and people like to think of that as like they're dualistic, like the yin and the yang, and they're not. That's impossible, right? That is impossible. So what I'm saying is the reality of the devil, okay, is that in reality of existence, you need a negative force and a positive force for anything to move. Something has to move something for it to be created. For creation to exist, to take place. Man, woman, sun, dark, light, moon. You know what I'm saying? This is the duality of that part. So in the existence of
differentiation.
In the existence of this world that okay, so I talk about you got the matrix part that is the man part, right? The man part, you gotta go to work, bullshit, that part. But then you have, without having that, you have humans and the earth and the plants and the planet and animals and trees and shit like that, right? So that is the base matrix, right? So that is the God matrix. That is the original matrix. And then men come over top of that with our world of bullshit, right? So these are levels of mind that you can move from, right? And it's a choice, but so you have to navigate it, right? You have to navigate it, because if you're not aware of this other part, the man part, the base matrix that God made, which most people have totally damn near forgotten about.
We think about equivalent to nature.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna talk about. Yeah. We can call it nature. Yeah. So nature, right? We can say nature. That is that part of the physical world, right? And then you have the man part, the man-made shit, which is also part of the physical world. But the spiritual world is like what people don't understand when they talk about God and the devil, right? So when I talk about the light and the dark and the alternating, what you said, duality, right? Mm-hmm. The duality is part of the creation. That's just part of this shit. But when you get to the spiritual realm, it's God level shit. You see what I'm saying? And so what I'm trying to understand is, what are we just, because this is what I think, this is my summation up to this point, that we are actually just living inside of the mind of God, right? So this duality that we think of as God and devil and all that, like we can't really fathom God, right? We will never truly be able to explain God in words or fathom him in an explanation that is sufficient for his reality.
Wow.
Okay? So when I talk about God and the devil in this world, it's just this that we can understand of the light and the dark. So that's what they're talking about when they talk about that. But it is not an equal thing, though it may seem that way because we're in this physical shit. Like, so people talk about the devil with as much power as God. Right. But that shit is a fucking illusion is at such a high level, bro. And it is. And then it is. And so what is the trick for like people who really trying to figure this shit out and understand what it all is, right? It's very complicated. For one, we all can see that just trying to get one explanation. You got this level, you got all these fucking layers and shit. But ultimately, when for me, like I said, it seems to me that we are all of existence is inside the mind of our Creator. That is my thought. That is my far as I can reach summation to what this all is.
It's exactly what it is. Just splitting images of it, trying it out in different ways. What if it were this? What if it were that? You got to think. As soon as the universe, God, the mind thought of anything, it became life in multiple ways in an infinite amount of mass. And that's what we got to understand is too, is we are just little versions of that now once again binging off. That's just how big it is. And when we realize that that's what we are, then everything I say, that's what I said, that's where we get to that glass saying clear. Wait a minute, we're just going through this thing trying to figure out how high we want to go in the next level of the thought process of who we are. Like that dude said, I was out of body seeing this level, seeing this over here. I was able to fly, I didn't have to do nothing. I was communicating with my guys, boom, 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 I'm here, I'm there. Where you going?
And that's what I talk about, reaching our fullest potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
The humanity, our species reaching its fullest potential, right? Because I think that is necessary. Like one motherfucker is just gonna go, oh, he's Jesus, he's special. Fuck that. That's not important anymore. We need the masses. Jesus said it. He said there will be ones who will come do greater works than me. Mm-hmm. So that means he said he didn't say one. There would be one more who would come. He said there will be those. Mm-hmm. So there's more than one, right? And the capability of the possibility of people doing greater works than he. And so who are those people? Do you believe you could be one? And that's the thing. Your highest potential, right?
The question I guess would be is how would you get there mentally to know it?
You have to believe it.
Okay, and then once you believe it, what do you do after that? Like you said, that's when you go back to there's no devil. You just got to believe it, receive it, work through the thought processes and the questions of it, and speak it forth as you rise to where your position is.
And this is the thing. See, people and people limit themselves in the ability to believe that the capabilities of humans are what it is. We know from all our studies that you got yogis and masters who do shit that look like magic. You know what I mean? This is just spiritual energy harnessed, streamlined.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We know what it is. We just ain't figured out how we do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing. And if you believe you can do what we just explained, if you can explain it, you can fuck around and figure it out. You see what I'm saying? You know what you're doing. You just, you know what I'm saying? So
I think
how high can we go?
You got to remove the doubts.
Yes.
Yeah, anytime that I'm telling you, this is a thought by thought process. That's where we're at. Every single thought, every word that you profess out of there has got to be leading you to the highest point of who you are. And that's why I say any moment that says, when you say, yeah, I got this, but I see, but I got that, who is that? Mm-hmm. I'm the only one here. When you look around, you are the only one. Who is that? Like you said, that is the mind of that duality of when sitting in the mind of Christ, the mind of conscience, and the mind of God, sitting here, just going through what if and this, and you got all of these what ifs. It's just we're experiencing it on a lower version of what that would really be like, and we'll never get back to what that would really be like, just like he said, because we're so infinite. But if we don't believe that, like you said, you can't get to heaven. Heaven comes to you. Everything comes to you. You speak it; it has to come to you. You ain't got to move nowhere. That's the greatest part of realizing who you are.
I got a good one.
And so whatever you think is going to come to you, and the more you think of heavenly, the more great and love you push in, that's what's going to come to you. It all comes back in return. It's cause and effect or karma. Karma comes from how much intention you put into that thing. Like my man said, you busted out he took his boy's thing. I did that with intent to possibly harm you. Well, this is how I felt later on in life. I believe that's where it's at. But you got to get there only by knowing who you are.
Yeah.
In every thought. Every single thought. What's going to happen?
It's about your own personal conscious and your own personal relationship, because, like you said, all of what you believe is inside of you. Nobody outside can see what the fuck you believe about you. So the mastery of self is all interior. You know?
And we need each and every one's interior thought process going in the same direction as we move, coming closer, sharing our stories, and everything is going on the up and up mental wise. I mean, that book, boy. I'm telling you. Book, boy.
Yeah, hey, you got to sit it down sometime.
Yeah,
you got to let me sit this motherfucker down. I got to log this shit in for a minute. This shit hitting right. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you gotta let it, digest it, and let it assimilate. Like, hold on, I'm about to blow my noodles. I got to slow down.
Just enjoy it in sips type of thing. Yeah, when it's rich like that.
Because you were always taught from train a child up in the way that you go. When he's old, you should never depart. You were always taught from day one, when you could understand, to think less than who you were. Yeah. You were always submissive to somebody, whether it was your mom, your dad. Nobody really told you to be free, because then they came with rules and regulations and schools and treatments and shots and this. They did it all wrong. So that's what we have to break, is that mental, wait a minute, I got some freedom to think for myself. Had your kid come in, they wouldn't have known right from wrong until you spanked them or said this or that. It had just been, oh shit, that hurt. Don't stick my finger in that electricity no more. Yeah. It would have been, I need to learn your lesson now.
Yeah. And the reality, that's exactly what it is. We all have to break the programming that's been put over our lives based on our environment, our culture, our race, all of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the idea of race is a mental idea, right? And then because you have these mental ideas about race, it does things to the way you perceive things, all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? That we have to eliminate from our thinking. And
watch those people, son. They'll take your bicycle.
Yeah.
And they'll beat you up.
Yeah.
Be careful not to be raped.
Yeah.
I told you to listen to me.
100%.
Want to listen to me now, Bobby?
And where did you go?
So you gonna listen next time, ain't you? But yeah, that's
where do we get all that from? Where is that funnel from? Where is that thought process?
I think it's back to the spec. All of a sudden, you're seeing this guy and you're not realizing that he's part of it. You're thinking he doesn't belong there. You know?
The spec, yeah. Like I said,
it's not clean. We got to purge the slate. Damn slate.
Yeah.
Guy didn't shine it last night.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It goes back to the idea of.
But then once you realize, boy, the spec is key, man. The spec's supposed to be here. Spec's part of the canvas. All right, thank you. Okay, got that.
Yeah,
roll with it. Now, spec. What can we learn?
Where does this fit, and how should I? Yeah, exactly. Where does this mold? How do I remold this into me? Right?
Yeah. How do I learn to accept?
Because all that old. All
resisting. Resisting reality.
Usually what you're doing is not
to fight a river. It's going to be twice the river. It's going to be
infinitely
stronger than a river.
Yeah,
it's reality.
Yeah. Accept.
That's your move.
Yeah. So the conversation came up the other day. I was on the phone doing an interview with one of my brother, my older brother.
Nice.
And he does electronic voice phenomenon stuff, right? With the recorder, and go in the graveyard and have spirit sessions with the people in the graves.
Wow.
But anyway, long story short, we got this talking. He was just really adamantly, he's adamantly against Christianity, right? And religion in general, right? Like structured religion, right? So, and I can't knock him. History has done so much to people with that. So. But we got to talking about how you hear God and how you know when you're praying to God if you're answering. How do you know? What is that? Especially, in these times, right? How do you know? And I wonder, how do y'all know?
Oh, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I told him. I broke it down. It's on camera. I gave him a whole analogy. I was hoping that as many people in the world see it as they can, because I think it is a sound analogy, and I think it's provable and true, and I don't think it's something that any soul on the planet could not test. Yeah.
What you mean by that?
Any soul that is alive could test.
We have at our disposal the tools to
test the theory of what I said. How you know this guy? How you know? your answer? How you know? You prayed about it. How do you know when the answer comes?
So you got a Khari. Let's hear it. Come on, man.
Hey, that's how my brother would.
Yeah.
Hold on, tell me how. Well, tell me how. Well, I'm like, calm down. I'm gonna check. No, tell me how. I'm gonna tell you, bro. I got the answer. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's really how it was. Like, yeah, what's up, bro?
Is that you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, it comes back to the original thought process that you want to get to futuristically, that you know exists, but my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, that you know exist because you've got all these things lined up. So like I said, there is a conveyor belt that comes down. You think that you're really truly asking for something, but the thought process is you're not asking anything. You're speaking things. And then you've got that thought process that says, yeah, but really, can I do that? Oh, here we go. Block that shit. Who is that? You know, that's that duality, and the only way to bring it back is to realize who you are, and that's why I say, that's where they say you manifest. Manifestation comes from the realization of who you are, blocking all any negativity, coming back to the stature of, like I told you, when I was 16 years old, it hit me, damn, I'm God. I'm the source, I'm nature, I am the thing that's up there in a little version working things out. And as I realize that, now I'm not asking for anything. I'm saying, you know what? I want this. Why? Because I have it in love. I'm going to use it in love. I'm going to do these things in love. And maybe I'm going to benefit other people. That's why I can have it, because I'm asking in the right. You have not because you ask amiss. You ask wrong. You think that you may consume it upon your own lust. Now, we're not here for that, partner. We're for generational wealth. And how is that? You give, and it shall be given back to you, you know, overflowing your bosom, and you understand that. And so now everything's coming to you, and you start giving it because you don't have to ask. It's not a question anymore because it's knowledge that, wait a minute, I can have this? Yup, because the people sitting up top, they don't think that no more. Now they're thinking, how do they get rid of the depression? Because they don't really truly understand who they are. They just knew the right thought process would get them there, so they used it to their advantage. Now they're sitting there like, damn, what do I do with all this power? You don't know. That's why the transfer of wealth has to come back around. Get the fuck out of here. That's why.
See the wealth? Amen, man.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah, the wealth is scored differently in the man's world, right? So if he's going to give to you, to me, to whomever a person be, he's got to give up. He's personally going to have to lose that for you to gain that. And so that's how. And it's simple. Like, come on, son, don't be silly. You know, get your change.
Right.
Blah blah blah. Okay, of course, naturally, Father. And then so he's seeking. So now he's trying to free himself a little bit. He's having a really pretty free experience with another great human, and then, oh gosh, maybe I should doubt and paralyze myself by wondering if giving is going to cost me. Right. So actually, I don't feel like loving anyone but myself, which is just this little everything inside the skin and nothing else. Okay, that gets you very nowhere. And you kind of learn that, wow, what if love was the accounting system of love was a little different than the accounting system of the being counting system. Where actually, like you say, Charles, is much more akin to a gardener who takes care of his seed and takes care of the soil and helps ensure that the needs are being met. Arranges so that the drainage such that the crops will be better irrigated or something, you know? Well, naturally, he's going to prosper. Much more so, you know, than that this person who's unwilling to invest in the relationship for fear of losing. And so when we see that, and we see how practicing of the giving love, like we say, effectively, what's going on? That's just more prosperity in the mix. That's more awareness in the mix. That's more love in the mix. This is a good thing. This is a unifying sensation, experience, philosophy.
Yeah.
We enrich each other by
experience, right?
Loving.
Yeah.
And there's a certain courage in it because he's stepping away from the other style of accounting, which you've been sort of conditioned to believe is very foolish. So there's some courage there. So then back to the lens and the process, and what was the answer? And we largely came to acceptance. Yeah, acceptance of the reality. We're no longer living in this version of what we should have, could have been. We're now taking the reality as our truth. So this is a process. We have these, like we say, perhaps that single most important epiphany that we are one. Once we have now identified correctly, I am HO. Now we have this process of the embodied, of manifesting this in practice, right? Which is much more involved, because you'll see how the Babylonian mentality will challenge this at almost every angle. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you,
developing a practice of returning and returning to the truth. It's not just okay, bingo, we had that epiphany. Now we're just going to go on hold and drink beer. Well, maybe someday you get to that point where it's all on automatic. And what was our theory about? What is our instrument? What is our practice for? How do we discern
God's
truth from falsehood? Yeah. And so, if I might speak a little bit to that,
please do.
All right. Yeah, so that was struck a chord, because I think about this quite a bit, and I
think we all have to. That's a spiritual being do, right? I think there's quite a bit. Yeah, we all do. Yeah. That's why it came up.
Right, and so I was thinking of this act of courage, then of being willing to love. So, and it's also it involves sort of a letting go of fears that have been inhibiting the love, the doubts and fears, whatever's in the way. Now we're going to clean this process up like layers. It's going to be a process. We're going to have a regular practice. We're going to be faithful. That's the only way to really get there. The turtle in the hare, he's faithful to his path and he gets there, right? He actually got there first in that instance, but I don't think that's terribly relevant.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're tuning ourselves. Our courage, our act of courage is now, instead of in the Babylonian sense, our act of courage is, I'll insulate myself more, I will be fatter, I will have bigger stockpiles, I will triumph in the battle. Right. Yeah, my kin will be the successor. Okay, there's that. And when you go into life that way, your coarseness is like prohibiting you from a fuller enjoyment of the subtlety.
I'm sure.
Right.
I can only imagine.
Sure. Well, as we do each
day. Yeah. You understand? I can only imagine. Right. Well, wow. Right. Very true. Very good point. Yeah.
So we start to now. Our courage is now spiritual courage is in disrobing. Okay, now I was safe behind my fat. I was safe behind my bank. I was safe behind my wall, my guard, and my dog, and my cameras. And now I'm naked and I'm ready to be brave. And then it's very humbling, right? And you realize how you're begging to instantly the body's impulses have heightened, and the inclination is to change and to go to bow to Babylon again. And so then I think the act of the practice, the faithful devotion to the practice of turning and returning to the cleanse, which personally we all have, I think we're best off with some kind of practice for this, some kind of a ritual, perhaps, however simple, to just help invoke that awareness. Yeah, particularly in times of trial, but at all times it's effectively. So, another practical tool, again, in helping recognize, distinguish between falsehood and truth and falsehood, is that, to quote very loosely from the Quran, falsehood will be hurled at truth and falsehood will perish. So one is eternal and one is temporal. So there's another distinction when we look at it and we think, okay, which is the lasting solution and which is the solution that just sort of happened in the interim. So that's another helpful tool. So, and then thirdly, the golden rule, right? So when we're thinking from a more fleshy perspective and we're having some doubts that's sort of inhibiting our moving forward with the process, then so we're investigating the doubts. and we come to believe oftentimes more clearly whether or not that's a good or a worthwhile action, or whether that's something sort of that one might come to regret. And so, yeah. And so then, yeah, let that be a tool. It's like it's like a handout. Here you go, basic tool. You get a mirror. All right. Nope. All right. You getting it together. You kind of get a sense of how it feels from a perspective outside of the individuated, divided sense of identity. As we're sort of again conditioned in a Babylonian way. All right, Jimmy, you are. Well, you are not this, Jimmy. Yeah. We've been through this, Jimmy. And but Jimmy still thinks he is. He thinks part of that. Why would he not be? It's part of everything. So then eventually we finally get free. We say, okay, I'm tired of living my dad's life, my aunt's life, my grandma's life. I'm a good boy and all, and I'm a good man someday. And thank God, the day is now. Yeah, and to get there's some respect. It's like, Dad, why you gotta pay respect to the grandpa? Well, why should I respect you, Dad? And it's like, well, I didn't get it. Grandpa didn't just like walk in and be like, hey, y'all, I'm the grandpa, all right?
Right, it wasn't made
No, he started off, he'd already been the son. He passed son. Then he played father. Right. And he made it through that. And now here's grandpa, all right? Now here's grandpa. Welcome, grandpa.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So that was interesting. I'm enjoying the conversation, but I don't know if either of you answered the question correctly for me.
Oh.
I approved of both of y'all's philosophical, witty interrogation of reality. But what I was saying was, like, so if you had a friend or somebody who don't pray or didn't pray or don't know how to like, dude, I've been asking God, I don't know if he answered me. How do I know if he answered me? How do I know? So this is what I'm talking about, right? Somebody who don't know how to know if they're getting the answer, or how to listen for the answer, or how to find the answer. So this is the conversation I had, and I think it's valid, and I think it's true, and I think this is the one I said I think anybody can test. Mm-hmm. And I think it's something that we all do anyway, right? Most people do it arbitrarily, and then they could look at it as a coincidence, and they miss the information that is the guidance that comes from the result. But anyway, I'm going too far. Point being, this is what I said. Like, when you have a thing that you are wondering about, you're heavy on your heart, heavy on your mind, you're crying about it, you can't figure it out, you're sad about whatever it is, right? Whatever that thing is that you feel like you need to take to a higher power. Go in your quiet place, wherever that is. Say your prayer, shed your tears, do your meditation, whatever it is you do. Get it out, share the energy with the universe. And then after you do that, what happens is most people don't really take time to like step back from life. So after you do that, you have to step back, right? You've asked God, universe, whatever you want to call it, a question. So you now need to kind of not just like sit still and don't go to work and shit like that, but I'm saying be more attentive to spiritual senses. Listen. You're listening for something. You ask for something, so you have to be aware and conscious that the answer may be coming to you. Right? You're wanting the answer. You required an answer, and so if you pay attention after you've done it, if you don't like just go to the club and go hang out with your boy, go play, bullshit.
Be ready to recognize it when it's there. Yes.
Yes. Please be conscious and be ready to recognize it. So you've asked the question. Go to the store. This happens to people all the time. You go over your buddy's house, cut the TV on, listen to some music, walking by a motherfucker at the grocery store, you at work, someone says something that is directly related to the thing you were praying about, crying about, sad about, that you engaged the universe about. When you hear that thing, accept that it is the creator and that is your answer. Most people just see it as a coincidence. You know what I mean?
That's not the answer they were waiting for.
Maybe that too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe that too. But people always say, God don't answer my prayers. And I say, I bullshit to me. I say, that's bullshit. I believe if you do what I just said and you pay attention, it happens all the time. People, then you're right. That do happen. That do right. It happened to me. It happens to everybody. But 90% of the people probably just say, oh, it's just a coincidence. And then they keep it moving. They don't act on the thing. They don't, because it was some grocery store lady they don't know, and it just came out. It's like, man, that's exactly what, what I'm saying? That couldn't be my answer to my thing, so it's just a coincidence, and they keep moving.
I have a great example of this.
Mm-hmm.
There's these guys in the flood, and they got wrecked, and he's getting rescued, and so the guy comes by in his rowboat, and he's like, come on in. He's like, no, I don't want in on your boat. And he's like, why not? He's like, well, he says, God's going to rescue me. I'm a man of faith, All right. And so then the next guy's by, and he's got a bigger boat, the power boat and all that. He's like, hey, man, come on in, let's go. I'm okay. You sure? Yeah, all right. I'm a man of faith. God's going to rescue me. Pretty soon it's like the rescue chopper, and the guy's like, dude, come on in. He's like grabbing at him. I'm fighting him off. What's going on? Right. I'm a man of faith. Leave me alone. All right. And then he dies.
Yeah.
And he gets there and he's questioning, my God, I was so faithful. Like, I was like ready to go the whole way. Like, why? Why did I have to go down like that? Man, it fooled me. God, why? And he's like, well, so I sent you 2 boats and a chopper, man. I didn't know what to do. I called you back.
right. I don't know how stupid this is. I don't know if he got enough wits to keep going. That's it. We said 2 boats and a chopper, bro.
Ready to recognize.
Maybe he ready to come on. Yeah.
Okay, so you show him how answered prayers are answered, but then the question would be, is that considered now on the next level an answered prayer, or a thought that you thought and brought to you through the means of another version of you?
Back to our first question, right? Reality from...
Ultimately, if we're all in the mind of God, that's why every almost all religious sources say God can speak to you through anything. We're in his mind. So if I ask a question and I'm in the grocery store going to pick up some popcorn, and the lady, that's the means. That was the closest means. Y'all seen the movie? What's that movie? It's Denzel movie. It's actually about the bad. It's about demons shooting through the people. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember
that one.
Yeah, but it was like if he touch you, they demon just. Man. So it was. Yeah, it was like that. So it was like this is the closest person I can get to. So
right.
Or the Matrix, like Agent Smith.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I'm walking. There goes somebody. Bing. You know what I'm saying? So you get the information, and if you keen, then you be like, you know what? I better do that. But most people won't do that because they gonna say that's a coincidence. That lady don't know me. I don't know that lady. That shit can be what I'm talking about.
I say particularly when the ego is actually striving for a different outcome. It's not being humble. It's not asking and saying, I'm ready, my Lord, for thy will.
Yes!
Instead like, I'm ready, but I want it like real cute and like kind of like on the wealthy side. It's like, oh my God, man. He sends you the angel and it's like, no.
They have pines around the back porch.
You're unworthy, man. That's what it comes down to. At that point, you're not ready or deserving.
Yeah, you walking by the answers all day. And that's what I say. People say, oh, God don't answer my people prayers. Y'all don't pay attention. Do what I said. Because that's what I told her. And I know he felt it because his face changed. Because I know he felt it probably like, man, that happened to me before. But in fact, I know he did because what he actually said, he was like, well, I just consider that the ancestors. It's all the same. if in my opinion we're in the mind of God, you ain't escaping it because you die. You know what I'm saying? So if it's the ancestors, you know what I'm saying, all that is, it matters not. You can name it what you want to. Like I say, you can call it the universe, divine matrix, God, Jah, Allah. It don't matter, whatever you want to call it. It ain't got the ego you got that need that name called out. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, this attempt to limit or control, I think even the process of naming is sort of like maybe a little immodest when it comes to the divine, because to imply by any means that the divine could be limited in
to your lame ass comprehension.
Yeah, come on.
That you finna word me into a phrase that says this is who I'm speaking. Man, get your little ass out of here.
Speak to Abraham.
Like I appreciate it, little dude, with all your poetry, but it ain't me. Okay, that's like my toenail, bro. Thank you.
Right, exactly,
you know what I'm saying? Come on, you don't even know what you're talking about. So just shut your ass up and do the work.
Humble,
just keep going and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? All this, I'm finna explain God. No, you ain't, bro. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Right.
And he's looking at you like, come on, man. I appreciate you. Good try, homie, but come on, man.
Keep coming.
Yeah, we all know we can't. It's like they said, the creation can never fully understand its creator. Good at math.
Never learn and never come into the knowledge of the truth.
Yeah, you got universes to travel before you can get to probably the epidermis of the skin of this creator. You know what I mean? We don't even.
When you identify as a man in the mind of man,
that's the only lead. Yeah.
But then, like I say, once we come to awareness.
Yeah, but I think sometimes we keep looking. From the
hold on. I don't mean to cut. Are you saying when we come to awareness, you think we have a clearer comprehension of the Creator? I believe we have a more clear, but you think we have a succinct comprehension of the Creator?
I think the experience is largely one of dissolution of the identity outside the Creator, at which point one does understand oneself, and to be able to for the mind of man to remain in a state of grace like that would be Christ-like. And so the potential
I love it.
embody this, man, make it manifest this, the will. Right. Praise.
I love it, bro. I love it. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. I love this kind of shit right here, bro. This my shit right here. Talking about this kind of shit. Yeah, this does it for me, player. It's my kind of thing. So yeah.
You don't want to pose the questions.
Nah, man, we don't want to deal with that. No, bro. You can pause it.
No, I'm just showing.
Is there a script?
I don't think we have that. Huh?
I only had two scripted questions.
Yeah, I don't.
One was, what is a man?
Hold on, just stop there. Y'all want to answer this question?
Oh, no. I want to ask him this.
Oh, okay.
Then, after that, what is a woman?
I mean, in my terms, I put it simple. It is the duality of the entire conscious expressing itself, one way or another. There's only one or two versions of it, so there is a duality. There's a feminine side. Everything comes through Mother Nature. Everything comes through the female. Life is in the female, so you've got to acknowledge that. But at the same time, the man is there as well. The duality. That's what they say. Balance out your masculine and feminine energy.
But what is a man?
The male version, the male thought of the extroverted thought of a female. The female goes in, the penis comes out. The extroverted thought of the female. That's why women are more sensitive, and the way that they are. Men are, we out here. We're supposed to be out here.
So the reason I asked this question is because I think it's an easier thing to ask what a man is nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we get that more of like a feeling. I think a lot of people say you can be a boy very easily. It's harder to be a man. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the whole woman thing, everybody fighting to be a woman and women trying to fight to have their rights, it's like. Right now, it's kind of harder in the world than ever to define like what truly is a woman. What makes a woman a woman? What is the difference between a man and a woman? What you know what I'm saying?
Right, with all the political hullabaloo.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the right word.
Yeah, quite an array of opinions there.
Yeah, well, it ain't that hard for me. And I'll just keep my opinion to myself. I had to quit a job because I said, "Excuse me, young lady." End up in the office for some girl who's shaped like a woman, saying she thinks she's something other than that.
Right.
I just said, "Excuse me, young lady," because I'm old school.
Right.
Was brought up with polite manners. Now I'm in trouble behind. This ain't the society for me. I can't even say, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am." Like I gotta check that shit.
Save that.
You ready? You gotta check that shit. Hey, bro, check all that. Check all that polite shit, bro. All that Hoosier hospitality around here, bro. Hands right now. You know what I'm saying? Check that shit. Yeah. Like, for real, y'all gonna call me in the office about saying, "Excuse me, young lady"?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was a little offended by that one.
It's hard, man.
I was a little offended, but you know, it's the times. Jesus said, if you think you're going to walk with me and not get your ass kicked, boy. You think you'll walk this trail? You think about that. Let's see who about it.
Yeah, come on now.
Let's see who really about it. Come on. Yeah, okay. Well, I can't work here. I'll see y'all later. I'm going to hang out with Jesus, man.
Wow. And to those guys, man, throw down your nets, you know, walk with me.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all if this makes sense.
Huh?
Let me ask y'all if this makes sense. See, when I get on this shit, I don't want to get off.
Yeah, this life.
Yeah, okay.
This life. That's why you see how excited that guy was.
Would we all be able to relate to the religious viewpoint of God and Jesus and the Bible? We all mentally know enough about the Bible.
Most of us were born in the West, so we got a good framework of Jesus and stuff like that.
All right. So we got God sitting here, told Jesus, "Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool." Right?
I'm listening.
So if we got that, then you would have what? The rest of the world and the Spirit being poured out on the world. You've got all these other people that would be somewhat separate. But the mind, they said, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus." What did Jesus say? He said, "I and the Father are one." Even though I understand that I am a word sent forth, an action to go speak this, I am Him are one. He that has seen me has seen the Father. There's no difference. Saying that even though I am humble to the fact that I am a thought process in the mind of the Creator, my powers are just as powerful as the divine. I just don't sit on that level because I am a thought that could be extinguished at any point in time if I'm no longer needed. Does that make sense? Is that how?
As in that flesh is temporal. And
that
only
flesh
that
is
spirit
temporal?
is eternal.
Yeah, that spirit is eternal.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, you ask me, even at that point in time, how far is, you can't never kill it, you know what I'm saying? So how far is it supposed to go? You can't go, I don't think you can ever go back to the truest form of consciousness, because if you're infinity, you're always learning about yourself. You're always finding something new, different, they say different dimensions, different everything. So I don't
think that, like you're saying, back. Like you said, if you look at all of like our reality, everything is progressive, right? So like we go through cycles.
I mean, I guess my end point is does everybody agree, or would everybody agree, or would anybody think that they are that one sitting at the right hand of God? Let me put it to you like that. Would you ever put yourself that high mentally?
Yeah, like we talked about, there are those who will come who will do greater works. Mm-hmm. Who are those people? I consider I consider myself one who intends to do greater works. Yes, that is my reasoning for being here.
Right. So
I feel like, in fact, let me say this. I'm gonna make a bold claim. I feel like I am an ambassador for the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. There you go. Said it. That's who I am. I feel like I'm an ambassador for the kingdom of heaven, for God's kingdom that is to come. Thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Right? What is God's will? God's will on earth, right? They say, well, God's will on earth as in heaven. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, well, I would say that it means that everyone that I create as a creator, being, animal, plant, I would, as the creator, hope it all reaches its fullest potential, right? I want this plant to grow up to its best. I want this animal to grow up to its best. I want this human being to grow up to its best. So, in my perspective, heaven on earth is all of the beings on earth living up to their fullest potential, right? All of the animals already do it. The plants do it. The humans are the ones who we are speaking of when we're talking about will on earth as in heaven. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about, human beings. Now, what does that mean? That means everyone reaching their fullest potential. That means full expression of this God life, this spirit life, this source life that is inside of you, right? The fullest expression. Most of us never express ourselves fully because, I talk about this all the time. From where I'm from, if I like this, I'm going to be weird. if from where he's from, if he likes that, he's going to be weird.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we have these programs and these rules in our mind that that restrict our expression of our truest self. And that is a choice. Okay? That is a choice. That is a choice out of fear. Only reason you ain't expressing yourself to your fullest is because you fear what somebody gonna say, what they gonna say, how it's gonna look, what's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some level of fear is stopping you from expressing yourself to your fullest. And I believe that no man can reach his fullest potential if he does not have his full expression of himself. So, as an ambassador, I feel like that's what I'm here to do with MBL, 24-hour community center for the kids. That's what that's all about. Get these babies not to have what we got on us about, oh, I can't like butterflies because I'm from Detroit and we gang banged over there, and oh, I can't like whatever because I'm from Canada, or you know what I'm saying, whatever the fuck.
I'm too hard for that pansy shit.
Yeah, you know
that happened to me.
Yeah,
pickleball courts. My buddy comes. He's got some tattoos and comes from South America. I guess it just kind of
ego shit.
Tell me again, Charles, what you just said, please, if you don't mind.
Well,
I'll need help jar my memory.
Yeah, I'm talking about how
whatever
people can't really express. You just choose not to. People don't express themselves to their fullest. And I said, if you don't express yourself to your fullest, you can never reach your fullest potential.
Right.
You have to express yourself fully.
Yeah,
that's a given.
All these inhibitions, yeah.
Yes, that is a given.
Process, yeah.
That is a given. That is a given. You cannot reach your fullest potential if you cannot express yourself fully. Right. And so that has been the issue. And so that's what I feel like I am here to help people do, bro. I feel like that's what I'm here to do. I'm supposed to cut out. If we can get to the kids, we can cut out the shit the Matrix put on all of us. That we have to, what we talking about? We got to remove all this shit we got to get out of us, all the programming, all the bullshit. Kids ain't got that bullshit in them because it ain't programmed into them yet.
So I guess the thought process next would be is what words and vibration and thought process are you going to throw into the kids? I'm not asking you that, but then that would be I don't know if
yes.
Going or not, but that would be the question that we thought is what thought process are we throwing into the kids?
Yeah.
Is it the thought process of think and you can have it and it's yours? Or is it the thought process of you got to ask for this, you got to wait for that, this is and that. Think and know that it will come to you in time, or you got to wait on somebody else to bring it to you. What thought process are we going to? That's
like one aspect, right? That is one aspect, but that is exactly what it's about. Showing them both paths. Let me show you both paths, so you can see the results of it, and then it's not a question where you got to ask nobody no more in your life. You see what I'm saying? Life is about, for me, and my understanding of what the creator in this universe, outside of the layer that the man got with his matrix, God's matrix was the base shit, and our life is an experiment. The tools of that experiment are the spiritual laws that he gave us that allows us to interact with each other and understand how this develops if we go this road, how it develops if we go this road. So this is like alchemy, spiritual alchemy. You see what I'm saying? To me, right? If there was no cars, TVs, roads or shit, it'd just be humans, right? And so all that would really be relevant in life is relationships. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And so based on that, the tools that you have to navigate life are right and wrong, good and bad. You know, the higher and upper, or you know what I'm saying? The lower and upper, the qualities of character. Mm-hmm. So these are like tools of alchemy. And so we talking about reaching your highest potential. You have to understand what these tools are first, right? And how the fuck where you apply them, when they need to be applied, right? And if you apply them correctly, you get to the next stage. You keep moving up. You keep moving up. If you don't, you'll see what happens when you don't apply it correctly. So you see what I'm saying? It's a tool, and you can, if you're paying attention, you see the outcomes.
Mm-hmm. So instill into them the thought process that I said. But in order for you to know that and use that properly, you got to go through these routes of life and experience and learning if you do this is going to be the outcome result. But we've given you the idea. I got you. That makes sense.
And not even only that, like what we was just talking about, we all got our interviews. Mm-hmm. If like I said, we can put these kids in front of different types of thinkers, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them gonna naturally vibe to some of the shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the other ones, like I said, life is. I'm finna tell you of my experiences, right? This the road I took. I did this. I did that. So you know what I'm saying? They get all of the experience that we can give them, and then as they go out into life and they engage life, oh, he said he applied this here. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna do the shady shit and see how that come out. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
You see, and so that's what it's about. You got to give them the tools very early, before the Matrix and they shit. Before, oh, you from Detroit, you like butterflies, he must be gay. You see what I'm saying? The goofy shit.
Oh, that's what it was, the Detroit butterflies.
Everybody.
This one guy's hard with tattoos on his neck. The next guy's wearing a dress. I'm like, this is Bloomington for you, you know what I mean? They both gonna play on the same court, it looks like, until the tattoo guy's like, I'll play the winners. He said, just, I understand.
Nah, who wasn't no Detroit butterfly shit. I just use it as an analogy, you know what I mean? So, you know, tough guys, you know, she could be from Chicago. They shit worse, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, pow, pow, pow. If you sitting on the porch and you got like 6 butterflies in the cage, you could just jump this motherfucker.
Easy target.
I mean, mom, just because he got some butterflies, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Stomp that cage out, motherfucker. Fuck wrong with y'all, man? God made these, man. You know what I'm saying? But they butterflies, so they soft. You know what I'm saying? All of these mentalities
so
that
an Aikido master.
for real, you know what I'm saying? For around get your ass whipped by the butterfly, man, right? Jump up with all types of skills. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of these cultural shits that we got in our own mind to stop our development. And then when you didn't get there, you can't say. So like, this is what I used to say about men and women, right? If you got a woman and you motherfuckers go, so you get this is just a theory. I know we all go to heaven and get together. You say, why you ain't do what I told you? I put you to do some shit. And you be like, well, my girl has said, but my girl has said we should move over here and I should do this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So you think exactly? So I used to say it about dudes because I'm telling dudes like, dude, you better you got one life. When you get there, motherfucker ask you why did you do what I thought you do? What my girl and my mama has said.
Right, you're gonna be babbling.
Who you know what I'm saying? Who got the way here, buddy? Your girl, your mama, God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What you doing here? Yeah. So all of that shit, you know, you gotta figure this shit out. So you got to navigate this. Hey, baby, you got to stand down. If you can't stand down, you might have to stand aside. Something ain't right there, but I got to do what he said. You know what I'm saying? And people, how you know what he said? I feel what he said. I don't care. When I pray, when I meditate, when I do my thing, as far as ask these questions about my path or whatever I'm doing, when it's done, I don't have no questions. I know what I'm talking about. It ain't nothing you gonna move me from. It's pretty much over. Once I get the answer, that's what it is. Now, how we gonna have to process through it? We gonna have to process through it. But it ain't really for me. No, I can't. It's not a compromise. Once I know. There's nothing I can compromise about it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can compromise about it. And I can't hardly hold it. I can't hardly try to say, well, I'll just know what I know and not say, man, that shit coming out. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to get a headache or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start sweating. Something in my body going to go off wrong if I don't do some shit I'm supposed to do, bro. Like, for real.
Heeding the signs, we talked about that. When the body's speaking out, there's a mind ill at ease.
Yes, sir. Being conscious of that shit, like, yeah.
Before I forget, too, Khari, I wanted to thank you for the meditation earlier about considering whether one's, personal, individual practice is sort of in accord with what it might take to sit at the right hand, in any sort of respectable way. And so, and then what? Not only remembering that. Calling, if you would, in our tribulations and trials and challenges and experiences, because let's be honest, that we can celebrate our experiences, even our trials, right?
Yeah. And in fact,
works really good. There's never anything wrong. Never.
Yes.
Anything wrong.
In fact, one of the Baha'i quotes says that, and this is not, like you said, this is not for word for word, but it says, troubles and problems outwardly they are as fire, but inwardly they are as light. So meaning when it's coming at you, it's like, oh my God, it's scary, oh, it's fire, it's gonna be some tragic shit. But then when you process through it with all of your, what I was talking about, the navigational tools of your spiritual toolbox, once you utilize them correctly, it becomes wisdom, it becomes light, it becomes warmth, it becomes comfort.
Charles, this is spiritual alchemy.
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
It's a tempering of the sword.
Yes.
It's the smelting of the iron.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, exactly. Yes. So that's what we're talking about, like you said. And if you can do that, if you can consciously remember that, like all the time, when it comes, it's almost like bring it on. Right? What do I need to apply here? Right? Because on the other side of me applying this correctly is a new vision, a new sight, a new clarity, a new understanding, a new stage of me. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, yeah, you don't go looking for trouble, but you sure ain't scared when it comes, because I got the tools. Now it's just a matter of, okay, what do I apply here?
Accept the challenge.
How, and what do I, how, not even, yes. Embrace the challenge.
Let's take it a step.
Embrace it.
Yes, step further.
That's it.
Before going right off the deep end, celebrate them.
Yes, because their stages of growth. Yes.
Wow.
Celebrate it.
Okay, so now I've got to try and own up to the speech.
We do.
Words.
We do.
Okay, yeah, but now the next time the trial's personal, let's celebrate that.
Celebrate it.
Yeah, all right, let's see that. I want to see that one. Yep.
Hey, Roric, you celebrate?
I want to see the happy dance. Go and get some live cam. Show me the happy dance.
Hey, don't call me with that celebration shit, bro.
You get that letter from the IRS? Yeah.
You know what I'm going through. I don't need no celebration shit right now.
Show me how it goes in the flesh.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what it is, though. But it is true. It is so true, and we so can see it on the other side of every one of them, bro. That is so true. It is. It ain't never been. We ain't died on now one of them. We ain't lost a limb or your head still in full shape. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened like you thought it would. Damn time. You know, we're going to split your head over. Ain't nothing happened. You still good. So everything has proven to be a light when you use it wisely. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, this shit. And then you remember, hold on, I got a toolkit. What the fuck do I apply here? Okay, I'll apply that. I'll apply this. A little bit of that. Right. And you roll through, and then you see what happened on the other side. You be like, man, and it's true, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I had to do this just recently, man. I'm talking about I had to really apply. I did. I was talking about disrespect him daily. I'm talking about hardcore disrespect, and then I had to help them. I had to turn around and help them. And not help them fakely. Had to help them and process it in myself.
Right.
Yeah. I had to. So we think it can do the fake shit. Not for real. You know, not if you're dealing with the real shit. You can't do the fake shit. So you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it. Now you're doing it. You got to do it. So and I had to do it. And on the other side, it was. I ain't gonna say it was not easy, but it was very, very enlightening. And I feel that it was not only enlightening for me, but it was effectively transformative and enlightening for the other person that I would have said, "No, get away from me," type shit. I feel like it transformed both of us.
Really,
so I feel like
there,
doing it, applying the tools in the necessary time, proved some shit that I could not. No one of you would never have known had you not gone through it. If you don't go through it, you won't really know what's on the other side of it. There is no way of knowing how this shit would have turned out. Ain't no way I would have knew it would have turned out that way. So it's a very effective truth that I can stand by. So yeah, apply the motherfucking tools in the hardest way. That shit was hard, bro. I don't even. It was. Yeah. And it worked though, and I feel like it very effectively. And so yeah, that's what it's about, man.
Yeah, wow.
Because people, I thank you. I appreciate it because it was hard.
It's extra tough to do it in a way that comes across as acceptable to another person because it's so easy to want to, feel judged or that the person's pressuring you to change, you know. But I think when the words are more inviting and more,
or to be fake righteous, or to be fake helpful, or to be helpful because
fake
that's
anything,
what it looks like.
That.
If you was this type of person, this is what you would do. You see what I'm saying? If you was this righteous motherfucker, or you see what I'm saying? All of that could be in there too. You see what I'm saying? What are you applying this? That's why I said to really do it right and internally say, well, no, I can't do it just because that's what 2 + 2 says. Okay, well, so what I'm saying, if all right, like so on the sense of you know, okay, God say love thy enemies or some shit like that, right? So you say I'm gonna love my enemy, and then you try to do the thing like on the surface that would make it look as though you love your enemy. You know what I'm saying? It don't work. That ain't gonna get it. You gotta really go love your enemy,
right? No matter what.
It's not make all the include all your biases as your little loopholes.
Yeah,
you gotta build and love the enemy when he's you
gotta, and then when
my
you do
friendly, safe.
Yeah,
love my enemy when
then
he's
when
helpful to me. When we have advantageous business transactions, love my enemy when
you gotta love your enemy when they trying to throw shit in your face. Yeah, when they throwing shit in your face, you got to go love. Right. That is what I'm talking about. When a motherfucker do you like that, and you still go through it, it ain't about them. It's about you and God, right? And so then the process becomes, like I said, it ain't nothing that I can do. It becomes something that you could do for show. People could do for show. A soul could do for show to make it look like that's. Oh no, I can be forgiving and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? There's a level of that can be there. But to really go into it processes some different shit, bro. And I feel like damn near like, and I don't even like saying shit like this, but I feel almost like I raised up a level in the sense of consciousness that a motherfucker can't really argue with me no more. Like I won't get caught in an argument.
Right,
no
you don't
more.
feel threatened by that kind
like
of
like my understanding of your understanding when you speak about whatever it is you're speaking about is at the level of why you're speaking it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there is no real weight of measure with your judgment because I know the perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't an ego thing, but it's like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
well, then I guess it would break down if you go with that, then you'd go with this as well. You'd have to ask yourself now, since you're there at that point, is it even happening to me? Because sometimes when we look at things that come at us, we look at it as if it's an attack personally at us. So we got to now look at it and say, is it happening to me or is it happening for me? Now we're saying, okay, if it's happening for me, then there's really, like you said, there's no negative. I can't even see why you're arguing. What is this? Oh, you need something? Okay, no problem. Boom. Because what? Now that I just gave that in love, everything's got to come back to me. I've done nothing wrong to you. Now, should you put your hands on me, we're still in this flesh, so you're going to catch these hands. But at the end of the day, this is where we're at. So and that act of kindness is never happening to you. It's always happening for you. And if it's always happening for you, then that energy of frustration and anger should no longer be able to dwell inside you because you're excited that, damn, that just happened. Then people actually really did just do that. No problem. What's coming good for me? Because I'm not going to react to it. I'm not going to get that energy. I'm going to see that energy inside and express it upwardly and inwardly where I know I'm supposed to be sitting like, hey, nothing bothering me.
See, for me, everything always go.
Again, man.
He on the shit.
I've been in that crib. I done shut off every electronic, like you said. When you said that to me, it hit home.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what you going? I said, okay, bet. I turned the game off. I got off the phone as much. I only checked when I needed to. I was in that book. That's why I was going. What? Oh yeah, you can't get this back yet.
Hey, that was. Hey,
it helped me understand. Like, damn, wait a minute. This whole entire time, I've always been fighting emotion and frustration and anger. Why? Because I was unhappy with the understanding of who I was. I still think I am less than what I am in this body, and I'm not. I am the greatest thing that ever was created. I'm just at a lesser level than where it came from. And I have to sit myself that high, and religion says you can't do that. You can't think that way. The life says you can't think that way. Let me throw this phone in your face. Let me throw all of these problems and issues in your face so you have to get that out of you for 30 minutes, like you said, before you can even get into the thought process. Wait a minute. All I got to do is sit back, think, and speak it. Okay, I got a little work to put in here, like you said, but wait a minute. All I got to do is speak it, and that shit comes to me? No way. Let me try that. So I did, and like I gave you the information. things happen. People meeting up with me, that shit's real. And I know that it is. And why is it real? Because I believe and say, wait a minute, all I got to do is speak. Because I'm not speaking with the flesh, I'm speaking with the spirit. I'm rejoicing in the spirit like it's already mine.
We literally have the ability to transform reality.
I'm telling you.
And the more of us who have the consciousness of that, it will begin to transform other people's reality. And I know that from what I'm talking about I just went through. I transformed somebody else's reality by my willingness to eat shit on some righteous shit, you know? You know what I'm saying? Righteously, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so that's just one person, right? And so, like, I know, dog, like I said, we get these babies on this level, because if they can learn 5 languages by 8 years old, they can learn everything Khari know, they can learn everything you know, they can learn everything I know by 8 years old. Who the fuck are those little kids?
And where are they going?
Those who will do more than Jesus, those who will walk who he talked about. You see what I'm saying? They are to be created by us, man. We are the ambassadors for them. I'm telling y'all, I'm telling you, that's why we know each other.
Charles, you come back to this a couple of times.
I ain't fucking around, man.
I understand the importance of it. You know, it's like emphasize
real, bro.
Because I actually feel connection to that because we studied it from a more like intellectual perspective. It was more of a philosophical undertaking. It's the type of yoga that I studied in more depth. Looks at the practice itself. It starts, effectively opens by defining itself as the present and sort of the blessed, and then it quickly follows that it's the practice of yoga in the human is defined as the cessation of disturbance to the mind field. Okay, so now it introduces some concepts that are somewhat unfamiliar to our typical Western sense of mind. Okay, so just to quickly clear up that, the mind field in particular, we can look at science. Again, we talked about science, sort of confirming, denying various things. Yeah. So it's saying when we have a current, an electric current, there's always a corresponding magnetic field. So when you have human physiology is also largely electric in its functioning. The nervous impulses are chemical electric signals. So we understand already the electric nature of the body. And so it follows naturally that where every electric current has a corresponding magnetic field, and there's an electric current existing in the human physiology, that the human physiology carries with it a corresponding magnetic field, right? So did I do that right with logic, right? So we basically built that one fairly solid, right? Yeah. Okay.
It follows you all the way through, bro.
Right. So now you got this mind field, and so I just tell the story because that's how that's where, remember you talked about a particular experience, personal experience, that was like kind of, yeah, this is one of those ones. Yeah, so it was when I got to meet a person who I often credit as my yoga teacher, and I'll tell you, I probably had personally, in terms of time with this fellow personally, would you think a yoga teacher, what's it take to own that title as my yoga teacher type thing or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you spend like countless years with the man in a cave, like just one-on-one, like, you know, did his bidding for like whatever, up and down the mountain, you know, whatever, camels on your back, whatever, right? Yeah, so who knows? But no, I mean, like, we barely exchanged. You know, I saw him once or twice in passing. Like, I think he wrote to me once on the chalkboard. I asked him a couple of questions in a public lecture hall a few different times. You know, it's like very extremely limited.
Right.
But the impact was phenomenal, and so I was already like passionate about the whole subject. I wasn't really buying the idea of teachers. I thought, no. Teacher's going to introduce impurity in my lens, right? It's a speck in my canvas, and my demo want it straight.
Right.
So
but the teacher's coming. Holy shit, the teacher's gonna be here. Oh my God, pay the fence. Cut the grass. The teacher. All right, I'm sorry, you guys. I
really ain't.
I wonder if one of the few people around here that even actually is looking at the practice. Yes. So
y'all thirsty? I was gonna drink.
Easy to judge. I got tap of water.
Yeah, I come on, man. We sitting here talking about. I got
I jumped up.
Right, hell yeah, man. All right, so that's purified water.
Oh yeah.
Got cran raspberry. Got cran raspberry lemonade. And got cran watermelon.
Oh, Manoli.
So let me clear it out.
Get at them.
Yeah.
So this cranberry is going to clear you out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's out of the water.
Cran some or this is gonna be cran some. Even the lemonade, right? Lemonade.
And speaking of that, I know Charles. I'm not getting any younger in this body, and
so you don't want no juices.
oh, thanks. I've been thinking more seriously about keeping my colon clean and whatnot, and I got some really nice recipes going on. I found this one at Dillman Farms rhubarb preserves. It's sweet and like 2 spoonfuls. I swear I'm like completely clean inside by the next day.
So I actually had we putting all our business on the world, huh? I had a colonoscopy, right? About 2
you
months
probably
ago.
come and do, yeah.
Yeah, I was quite clean and happy when I got done. Like, I ain't got to go back 5 years.
Good.
And I ain't finna eat too much of that bullshit that's gonna hurt me. Between now and then.
What did they say was in there that was,
All right, that's
if
the.
anything?
Nothing. They said I was excellent.
No, I just, wondering. Like, you said you ain't gonna eat nothing else. I was like, what was the stuff they said you was eating that was
No,
in
I
there?
ain't said nothing.
I said, that would be nice to know. Like,
Right, you would have cut that out of your own diet.
No, you already know what, I mean, the world can
all
tell
the
you that.
stuff
The
that
doctor
burn
ain't say shit.
meats.
I'm just saying, like red meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they can tell me exactly what's in there, though. Like, you got this
Burnt oils.
Wendy's buns lining your stomach. Like, okay. So you can avoid that altogether. Like, that ain't digesting too well.
You don't want that.
All right, so with that healing
If I
thought
want that
process,
information.
I'm gonna ask y'all this with that healing thought process. Let's go back to the Bible. We're talking about all of these things that the kids and things will be able to do because of the information we're installing into their brains.
Right.
So the information that we install into their brains, I guess the next question is what kind of mindset would you have to be in order to walk up and lay hands on someone and say you're healed? What kind of spiritual mindset, what kind of spiritual authority do you think you would have to be able to have that power to walk up to someone and say that you're healed? You'd have to have no doubt that you are the truest form of source and able to do that.
Yeah. Now let me tell you what happened.
That has to indwell inside of the man. So
let me tell you what happened. So in my prayers lately, I've been praying that. That's
how does that happen?
I'm going to tell you how it happened.
Doubt-free state.
I'm going to tell you how this is. I'm going to tell you how it happened. I've been praying that all of my spiritual senses be heightened. Right, that has been part of my meditation and my prayer, and that, like, how oranges and lemons effervesce, you can smell them from far away. That my God energy expands out of my being like that, right? So that's my hope, that's my vision, that's how I try to walk. So when I go into work, usually I can get there before anybody there. I'll say my little prayers, get my whole light the building up.
Yes.
Just being, so I just light the building up. Then my man was walking around, oh man, my fucking neck, oh man, I ain't got a crook, my fucking hurt to go home. I was like, man, let me do some shit. I was just fucking around. And I said, wop. He was like, God damn, bro, that shit worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you know that shit? How you know that shit?
He trusted you.
And I had thought about it, like, damn, did I?
He needed it.
And I was like, I got to remember that next time. Like I got to remain, like you said, be conscious of it. You have to be conscious of it. So the fact that I have been thinking that way, I feel like it did something in that.
Well, what way were you thinking? That's the question. What way were you?
I had been thinking to effervesce my God energy. Like an orange, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, that's the mind.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the mind field.
Got me on to you.
Yes. Without, like I said, without me having to intentionally direct anything at anybody.
Okay, let me take you one step further back. You said that you prayed and asked God for that. Let's go back there. If you prayed and asked God for that, or is that a thought process that you know dwells inside of you. You're just unlocking it mentally, saying, wait a minute, I don't have to ask for this. It's already here. I just got to learn how to manipulate it and use it by thinking on a certain wavelength.
Yeah, and so when I say I ask God for it, I'm not saying I ask God for it. I'm asking Him to heighten my consciousness of my own shit. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying.
Make me more conscious, make me more aware, make me even spend more time in that realm of thinking versus this matrix shit. You know, we got this world, we got to navigate to live around out here, but I want my consciousness to remain in my spiritual energy, in my spiritual expansion. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but I guess my thing is that my thought process, when anytime you feel you have to ask for something and actually ask for something, and I know Jesus says, ask in my name and you shall receive it, but Jesus was understanding also the thought process is all I got to do is say, hey, once I think it, it's already, before you think it, I'll know your thoughts, I'll answer your prayers kind of thing. So that goes back to the thought process of, wait a minute, all I have to do is think for what I want. I don't have to ask anything because asking is already done. So, okay, this is what I can do? Yes. Good. That prayer is done right there. That is complete. Now the only thing you got to do is work on that and saying, okay, now I just got to wait for that thing to come. I might have to do this in time. I might have to do that in time, but that is coming because I've already spoken. Like, this is what I want with the intent. Because we sit back and think sometimes when we ask, we feel like we have to wait on that for someone else to provide it, but it's not that someone else. You are that someone else, and all you got to realize is once you realize you're that someone else, you're not waiting on someone else to give it to you. Now you're waiting for it to come into your face. You're sitting here in that position saying, wait a minute, that can come to me, that can come to me, because you're no different than that. It's just saying, hey, can I use you as a controller really quickly? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let me get that. And that's where you're at. But when we start saying, hey, wait a minute, where you at? It's like, I'm right here, bro. I'm using you. Can you please just sit back and let me drive? That's where we're at. But when we keep looking out, that's where it gets us in the mindset. That's why that exterior thing and idea and drawing has always been there. Let me get the TV. Let me hear what you got to say. Let me hear what you got to say. And wait a minute. And the universe saying, hey, I got something to say. Yeah. What is that? Come on up here a little higher. No, wait a minute, man. I feel like I got to ask you. Yeah, okay, you got permission. Come on up here a lot. You got to understand where your level is. You're never going to be there, but you can also sit right at the right hand of God. Not because you are just that great in essence, but you are. But don't let your mind build that in fear. Build it in understanding and that, damn. So we are sons of God, as the Bible would put it. Yeah, there's many, but we're all coming to that one Christ-like mindset where we all say like, damn. Hey, what's up, bro? But it's all still the same body. Hey, what's up, bro? But it's all still the same mindset and conscious, and therefore in that mindset, you sit there and say, well, that's mine. That's mine. My enemies are my footstool. You mean I ain't got to think about this no more? That means that's cool. Okay. Oh, you got mad. You got a little bit.
So enemies are my footstool. That's the next level then.
Yeah,
because then he's eliminated any sense of duality. I'm no longer anybody. I have no enemy.
Right.
Oh yeah, I
have overcome the concept
of love your enemy because you have no
right,
enemy.
and so at that point there's no distinction between.
So my I guess my dilemma.
Okay.
Right. I'm trying to find the right word. Right.
I still want to add on what you said about the transmission. How does this transmit? How do we become transmitters? Because I said there's a way.
Yeah.
And we're into it.
My duality, what the fuck did I just say?
He was one.
My dichotomy, however. Anyway.
Yeah.
Point being.
Right. Dilemma.
Yeah, my dilemma. That's what I use. Right. My dilemma with the reality or the concept of, right, for one, right, we like you said, we recognize that we are a lesser of the greater, right? Mm-hmm. And so in my sense of I guess you could say prayer, communication, meditation, mm-hmm. It feels more than that, though. It feels more like let me say the word. It feels more like it feels more intimate. I'll just say it feels more intimate than that, right? Than those words, right? For me, it is a sense of respect and awe for mm-hmm. recognition mm-hmm. of the greater and the expanse of the wisdom of that greater, and recognition of omnipresence and omniscience. Mm. I am not that. Mm. And so what I am asking is for an opening. Open me to that, right? I don't want to be, I want all of that shit to be expressed through me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So no, it's not. I don't know. And so I don't know no other means to go about that. You understand what I'm saying? Other than to consciously perceive it and to give it to the higher.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And this is where I'm gonna go with that. And that answer to this, and not answer, but my thought process to that would be, because I was just there.
Yes, that's why I brought it up, because your point was very valid. That's why I said it's deliver for me.
Yeah, so
because it's true, but this is still me. Like where we at with that?
That's the case. I'm still sitting here. All right. Ooh, this is good. I'm ready for this.
Yes, this that God talk.
We sit here in this body. And let me, we have an outline of a soul. We got a soul, right? And if we looked at our soul, we'd outline it like a man, right? Okay, so that outline, even though you haven't filled it in yet, that outline is your soul. Mm-hmm. So let me break it all the way down. You've got God, conscience, created a soul which dwells inside this body. This body now is the covering wherewith we're learning how to navigate this Godhead. Because we would normally just be who we are. But you know what I mean? We'd be going from here to there, but we wanted to learn some things, so this body's allowing us to learn that. Boom, we're here now. Now deep inside this body is a soul. This soul has an outer lining. That soul outer lining is us. Wait a minute, I'm here? Yeah, but I fill you up because I'm in everything, through everything, I'm everything. But I'm here, big dog, just so you know, I'm that good. I can sit here right next to you and we good, but you're going to always understand that. As long as you always understand it in your mindset, then I'm always here. You'll never come here, buddy, because I'm too big for that. Okay, you'll never get here. I'm too big for that. But you can sit right here next to me and understand that there's many of you like you. Though there be many Christ, we understand. Though there be God's many and Lord's many, we all understand. There's only one God that sent a man down here to help us understand this. We accept that, we see that, and say, okay, we can sit next to you. Come on up a little higher. That's why I need you to sit, because you need to understand that, wait, there's greatness that lies inside of you. So there's no more asking me. Even though you ask me, you ain't got to look up and ask me. I already hear you. Just know it, that when you, with that feeling you got, okay, I want this. Okay, cool. Now what I'm going to need you to do is shut the fuck up, sit down, and let me tell you how you're going to achieve that, or let me tell you some other things, and I want you to envision it, and just to get excited in your spirit, because once you get excited in your spirit, then your body's going to react. Like, fuck! You mean to tell me for real, gee, that's where we headed? I'm in the crib pacing. We really headed, because I'm feeling it now. Like, wait, you told me that? Because I can't doubt you. If I doubt you, I'm like, well, I don't know, man, because that's doubting. What? I can't do nothing with that. That's what I'm trying to block off. There ain't no devil. I'm trying to block off you saying you ain't that good. I can't do that for you. In essence, you saying I ain't that good. Then I can't bring you these things and allow you to experience this. Hold on. You ain't going to ask what you need. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Okay, you want that? Yeah, I do. Okay, boom. Open up the window. Okay, cool. What else I got to do? Sit here and talk with me so I can teach you what you need to do once you get that. Let me show you what it's going to be like once you, ooh, we can do that? Yeah, because I'm going to lead you to this, because once you get here, you're like, okay, I ain't got to worry about no bills, so I can just go ahead and do it, because you in love now. You moving in love. Everybody, what'd you say? Okay, no worries, man. Go ahead and give me a little bit of money. Let him go do his thing, because God going to deal with him. Boom, 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 boom. That's life, and that's where you are. You're not in the driver's seat. You're just sitting in this motherfucker, and sometimes you're like, boom. Damn, and then you get real high and you really feel a presence. You're like, wait, what is that? What is this? It's just the duality, and you got to be able to sit comfortably in that motherfucker and say, wait, God's in here? I'm in here, there's consciousness in here, we're all the same. Even though I know you sitting high, you get to allow me to sit here in something you created that is nothing less than you. It has to be just as great as you. All of this is just as great as you, and I get to experience it in this way. Damn, that's deep. But that's really high thinking, bro. They taught me not to go that way. Humble myself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God. Think less of myself is what humble yourself means. Think less. And I say, you got to watch that wording, buddy. No more be less, no more blessed. You elevate, because you don't want to be less. That mindset's got to change, and in order to do that, you have to get past that heart chakra where it says, I can confess this great things which actually scare me, and once you begin to confess it, your mind begins to receive it even more. That's that thing. You're like, yeah, he's always there, but at the same time he says, I want you to sit here because I'm using you. I am you. There's nothing else you can be. You are not less than me. I'm just able to allow you to experience things, and there's no body here. I'm just saying, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that. You want to do this, you want to do that. And you say, well, that looks kind of good, because you're looking through the eyes of the flesh. When you look through the eyes of the spirit, you say, oh, okay, I see. Well, I could go that route, but that I don't want to learn that lesson. That don't seem like it's going to sit right with who I am, pure love. But some people let that flesh go over them, and they say, you know what, I'm doing it anyway. It's that ability to make those decisions as the source, because it has no idea what it would be like. So it allows you to come in here and make decisions on behalf, so you can ultimately get back to what? The mindset of what? Christ, God conscious. Okay. I'm going to sit here. I know I'm not you. That shit kind of scared me even thinking that shit. I know I'm not that high, but I appreciate sitting this. I'm cool sitting here, because he knew you couldn't take it. Sit at my right hand while I make your enemies, the ones who thought you, make you think you were less than who you are, your footstool. Chill out, I got you. Oh, I said, is that what you're telling me? Okay, bet. I'm going to relax. And I'm going to give thanks. And now I'm up here crying, and I'm emotional, because now I'm thinking about the things that I miss and the things that I want in life. But I realized, wait a minute. That built me to where I was. If I didn't face that, I wouldn't be here now. And even though I got the opportunity to release it, all these angers and frustrations of how I hate the white man and this, and that, and I want to murder him and kill him, I said, even though I hate that and I have that, I said, not all white men are going to be able to beat it. I had to break it all the way down to the fact that, wait a minute, okay, we're all the same on the inside. I love you there, but I don't like the decisions you made in your color of skin towards my color of skin in the story. And if this thing had to get physical, I'm okay with that, because even though I don't like it, I have to understand that we're still in this physical world until we can bring heaven to us. We ain't got to move. We're already sitting in it. We just got to realize it. Heaven is within you, and the within you heaven is not this great place. It's this great mindset saying, I'm damn this great. Yes, now sit back, relax, and bring all things to you. That's why I said don't go to these people, don't do this, because they're going to make you worship their God, somebody outside of yourself, and you're looking like, where are you at? And it's been trained, and you can't get away from it because you're afraid to sit back and relax in the fullness of the power that you are. I've been studying with him, G.
You should.
It's been the most scariest shit of my life.
You should. Yeah, I don't deny none of my, like I said, bro, I accept, I can't say like I said, I don't often talk about the breadth of what I really view, what I really see and expect all of this is. Like what I've told you is, like when I even do the show, like the show is intended to find those souls who recognize what we're talking about here. And that is the team that will help enact this kingdom.
Absolutely.
So it's a process. So yeah, it's definitely
I'm putting my feet up on the couch, Charles.
I'm wide open. Go ahead, bro.
Fine, yeah.
I'm wide open to all of that. And I look forward to it. You know what I mean? My thing is like I said, organization. You know, I want to bring us into some kind of organization because, like I said, people fuck people up because they know some shit. You know, motherfucker, you got a new invention. Oh, really? Let's get his ass. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that for nobody. But if we unified in some movement and that, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it's never fear. It's just our pattern of the history we've looked at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can we change that by assuming that even though that thought process comes in that, hey, I'm going to go over there and do that because we're used to the norm, say, okay, what was that? What'd you say? No, because the place that I'm sitting in, can't nothing touch me now unless it's allowed to. So that thought process,
I agree 100%. That's what I try to tell my sister. It ain't that hard to me. It's like I said, I'm going to tell you, it ain't hard to me. It's more hard for me because of the people around me. People, it can be too much. You're too much. You're doing too much. You being too much. You threatening yourself and us and all type of shit. So the reality is, yeah, bro, I'm a firecracker. and people always tell me, bro, you don't need to stop. You don't need any motherfuckers listening. You got your phone, all that. You like the shit that we talk about, the things that we talk about. People say you shouldn't talk about in earshot of your telephone because someone may hear you. You definitely shouldn't talk about it on the internet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm warned about all of that kind of shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I don't have that fear. Really, like I said, I don't, man, ain't a motherfucker got no power outside of the creator. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And my vision for what the future is real. And so I don't really see that a motherfucker got it. In fact, like you said, I'm going to say this. This is what I've said many times. You know how, like we said, they used to kill every motherfucker who tried to tell the truth or come out with some shit, right? I damn near feel like we're in the time.
What they call that? What's the word for that? When you think you're God and they kill you. There's a word for that. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
They're a type of martyrs. What did you say?
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about just the word, like blasphemous. I didn't know.
Blasphemous. Blasphemy, yeah. It's blasphemy, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what they
It's a form of blasphemy, though. Yeah. But it's sort of, it borders on awareness, you know, so it's such an interesting thing.
I guess it is. I guess I could say that it's blasphemy. I don't, yeah, man. A
lot of people were like,
that's why I don't claim no religion, bro, because it's, like I said, shit get too complicated. They got too many politics. And my spirit is what it is. But what I was saying about the things that I talk about, like the world overturning and the people who were the bad guys getting fucked up, and I'm willing to fuck some of them up if that's what God say go do and all this kind of shit. Motherfuckers always saying you shouldn't say shit like that. Okay, I ain't saying I'm going to fuck nobody up.
Don't need to brag about it necessarily.
And you see what I'm saying? I think that's the kind of shit. So that's why you see what I'm saying? That's all the time. Like, and it's just people who love you. So it ain't nothing that you trying to, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is more than You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker ain't got no power for shit over here. You can't do shit around here. Like you said, ain't a motherfucking thing you can do here. Nothing, bro. Nothing outside of what the Creator intends for me. And if He intends it, that's part of my path. And bring it on. Mm-hmm. That's the next lesson. Mm-hmm. That's all that is. So whatever that is let's go. But other than that, I ain't like, oh, so I'm coming. I don't do that. That ain't I don't. It's impossible. It's impossible to live like that and feel like that and be like that and
I think it's important
do a show and talk shit. No, man, hell no. Bro,
be faithful to the practice and to keep a habit of returning to that, so that the habit is well established.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like you said,
every
turn we're encountering challenge. You know,
I agree, but so let's go back to that. So in the sense of prayer and meditation and things like that. Mm-hmm. So when you meditate or you visualize your future, your desired perspective, whatever. Mm-hmm. So you don't use words.
I cry as if it's already mine.
So you don't use words?
Unless I need to. Normally I'm sitting there receiving things. I'll say, I don't like this situation, and I see things or a thought process across my mind, and I'll start a conversation with Source, and then Source will lead me down a conversation. What does your heart want? This, and this. And then it goes back, well, your life was like this, your life was like this, and it's like, why wouldn't you deserve that? So now I've got to give myself up. I do deserve that? Yeah, and I'm giving it to you. So believe it and receive it. So then at that point, I'm no longer talking. I'm just sitting there rejoicing over the things that I know are coming to me, not because I did this and I deserve it. That's karmalistic things and cause and effect. But what I'm believing in and what I'm getting is what I believe is rightfully mine, is what I am, is what is me. I'm just bringing it to me, and it seems subtle because I look at it through the flesh, but it's really great when I look at it through the spirit, because there's nothing that doesn't belong to me. So I don't really go into it anymore in prayer unless I've got a thought process on my mind. I'm like, man, I gotta and I want to let those feelings out. Then I'll let those feelings out, and then I'll sit back, relax, hear the answer, believe the answer, know the answer, relax, enjoy my life, continue to elevate my spirit, walk outside like nothing's wrong, because nothing is, because I know it's all good. I might have been a little flustered, but now I'm seeing through the eyes of the spirit. Hey, what's up, homie? There's nothing else anymore. So there's no more praying for me. It's like, my thoughts, right? Before I spake them, you told me that, right? Okay, so I ain't got to do none of that. It's my heart, boom. Okay, I heard you bet. Now let's talk about that. That's the deeper part. Is that making you mad? Is that making you angry? Why do you lash out like that? Why do you punch a hole in your wall like that? Well, because I was going through that. Okay, well, let's talk about that. You feel an abandonment? Okay, well, we're going to carry that because nobody ever abandoned you. I've always been here with you. I've been the one, and you got to break all of that down. But at the end of that, there's no more talking, because you be like, shit, okay, you just using me? This is what I want. Bet. Let's get it on.
Like instrument.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully played, and how people are playing. He may strike a chord like, boom, damn. Oh, you over there watching that TV on that game a little much. Nothing wrong with it, but if you want to play beautifully, I'm going to need to talk to you. Play something beautifully.
So your point, son.
So you how do you interact that way?
I also go the silent route.
No words.
Seldom need of words. Yeah, I feel like actually it's sort of like I'm stripping away again, like a process, like the lens. It's cleaning the mirror. All right, I'm here cleaning the mirror. All right, so we get all right. Well, I had opposition to this. Oftentimes, it's actually I'm not driving it away, because my act of aversion from something, that's a sign to me. Right. Anytime I'm feeling compelled to something or pushed away from something, I feel my power being given away, because it's no longer as might seem like the natural course of things. It's a compulsion towards it.
Force.
Yeah, it's a force. It's a force, right? And so, like, back to Junior, you still around?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, good. Well, because you mentioned earlier that some of the stuff you mentioned earlier, I was just thinking about this too in a similar context. This man. Who he is, he's like, I guess, and then who's the woman? So, who's the man? I think of this like, again, we're introducing duality, right? So, as soon as you do that, you're streaming away from the truth, and it's very difficult to speak honestly.
That's crazy, though.
Right?
So a man and a woman ain't real no more. Y'all saying like duality is Not what the fuck is y'all talking about?
I think duality is a Babylonian thing.
Okay, too goddamn philosophical. Man and woman, I don't want to do it to no man. So I'm just saying, I need to know about the woman. So
we're looking at the unity. And you know, the spiritual lens is one of unity. Complete and utter unity, without exception. And so, okay, so the mind in prayer, and the mind achieves what I consider my preferred state of prayer. The speechlessness is a typical approach, and I think that peace is part of a receptive state. Khari, I think you were sort of liking it to a much more receptive state. And actually, I think you liken it also to a state of celebration. Mm-hmm. I think in its highest form, it does. It reverberates with an air of celebration, and yet at the same time, it's very peaceful. And so when we achieve this place and we aspire to recognize and dwell in it, then we've done, and this is I think the trick to what we were trying to talk about earlier. And obviously, you don't need lessons to get there because you already demonstrated being there. But just as there's a classical angle on it, is when this guy's done this, achieved the state of prayer, steady state of peaceful prayer.
It's that walking prayer.
His mind field is super pure. So when he's in the company of other mind fields, this is, and like we obviously have all experienced right here now, we've sort of enriched the experience to some extent by bringing a clarity of mind field to the table, so to speak, right? And so operating in this space is a little bit more accessible. And so as we might typically wander in and out of a space like this on our own, when we come together, we can help hold the space at this higher level. And so this functioning again. So Junior, where I was coming from with the man angle was, we're going again. Are you ready?
No, we good.
Yeah, I love it, sir. Because it's just a humble my thoughts, you know what I mean? But I think it was worth weighing in because I look again at the duality. Okay, I think you asked about man and then you asked about woman and what's effectively the definition. So man, I think of, my first, again, personal first thought on that was like man versus boy. My duality wasn't going man-woman quite as much as when I ask myself, what is a man? The way I think of that is not what is a man different from a woman. To me, that's more evident. But what is a man from a boy? Because that's a real stage of distinction. That's something that we have to pay a little bit more attention to. The man from a woman, to me, is an easier question. Much easier question. One that almost really doesn't quite warrant as much.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't need to say it that way. The one thing's more, worthy or whatever. But yeah,
okay,
personally speaking, then the man thing is from a boy.
It's pretty obvious, man.
Okay, thanks.
I understand.
You see, that's a woman.
It's just right now. It's like
Gator. Can't you see that's a boy?
Anybody who's supposed to be like a professional right now, what a woman is on camera, and they're probably gonna walk away. Before answering
right? Yeah, they don't even want to on record with that one.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying. Like, are you gotta? It's like before we talk about what reality is, we gotta talk about what's politically correct first. Now, in my generation, I feel like
that might be falling away with Trump, though. The politically correct thing might be passe.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just bulldozing his way around, and we're gonna see some changes. So
I don't think that's gonna change the narrative necessarily, but I do think that it's going to change what's actually happening, because I think my generation, we're really more like
I said I kind of like it. I ain't going to get in front.
This the problem. Listen, I just want y'all to hear me for real, because I tell him this all the time. Like, y'all generation will type down like a problem with something and feel like a fire inside you and get with other people and do something about the issue that was at hand. Like, no, we're not going to allow this to happen. Like, if you found out let's say the worst thing, a child was getting sexually assaulted, you know what I'm saying, and you knew about it, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, the person who was sexually assaulting that child would not be able to walk down the street, because people would collectively do something about it. We're in the most vocal generation. We're all going to talk about it, but we're not going to do anything. And like, don't let the problem come to us, because then we're going to cur down too on top of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the government decides they're taking all our guns tomorrow, we're all going to be on TikTok and Facebook talking about what we're going to do until the police actually get to our door, and then we're like, here you go, please don't hurt me. That's just really what's happening. Like, I don't know. And I don't know if that's like what they wanted, but that's definitely what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We're the most vocal. We have problems with everything, but what are you actually doing for these causes that you care about so much? Like, oh, okay. There we go. That's a different conversation. Right. What are you doing in your day-to-day life to stop people from, you know what I'm saying?
How you weighing in to support your values?
What are you actually doing for your causes? Because there's so many causes in the world. There's much evil in the world. So it's like, what are you actually doing to prevent this thing? Are you actually going to do anything about it? Or are we going to talk about it and that be something that we say that we talked about and that you say you care about, but do you really care about it?
Right.
That's where we're at right now.
Where the rubber meets the road. I think that was our real question. Like, how do we bring ourselves back to feel motivated to embrace the challenge of resisting a Babylonian system and growing as spiritual beings and interfacing and supporting the growth, collective growth, on the very same path.
That's why I'm saying, like, the narrative is going to be like much different than reality. Like you said, they can come down the street with trucks tomorrow. We're all going to be in the house yelling at our phones. I can't believe it. We're going to be yelling in a room that you can't hear us outside.
Save your hand.
Yeah, it's like,
y'all didn't do that. Shut the fuck up, man. Get your ass off that phone. Go get you a gun.
Like, when I realized the last time I watched like one of those equal rights, Martin Luther King times movies type stuff. I'm like, wow. It's like they were actually going to jail for what they believed in. Like, as soon as jail come up, whatever stance we had took is clearly gone.
Say y'all bow down.
Right, yeah.
We're not trying to get shot. We're not trying to go to jail. We're really terrified. All of them was really
that's
terrified.
what the cops say when they come get them too.
Especially,
this is where the rubber meets the road, motherfucker.
Wow. You don't know what that means when it's happening.
That's what the police say, nigga. The rubber meets the road, motherfucker. We gonna see what it do for real now. Oh shit, we got hands up. It's over. We leaving. When you want to disperse, we out of here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Also, who stands up
somebody who's ready for the rubber to meet the road?
I think countless examples through history, but I was recently reflecting on Muhammad Ali and his life as a testament to sort of that ideal. That not only did he surrender his freedom, which obviously as an American is somewhat espoused, as anyone reasonable person really, I would assume, cherishing freedom. And so for him to sacrifice that for his principles, as opposed to killing,
Hey, Junior.
Purpose.
I'm sorry, I'm in there.
No, let's come.
Tell that man what you're telling me.
Yeah, hopefully here soon. Well, I know soon. We'll be moving in lawn care.
Permanent job.
Yeah.
Real job.
So we're looking for people that I can get in there and get the lawn cut.
Yeah.
Make it look nice and get out.
Yeah.
Money fast and hard. Get in there quick and easy. Get in and out.
Gotcha. You got to be at least all summer. Know that.
What's happening after something?
Through this meeting.
That's when the lawn care business
We switch over. Season. All the seasons.
We'll be working all season.
Yeah.
Multiple streams of income.
Yeah, and because like I said, you get the fall, you get the leaf removal. You know what I'm saying? Snow removal.
Yeah.
Might even plant a garden in the spring.
Oh yeah, I'm planting a garden for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
Inshallah, as I said.
Hey, where you planting a garden in? Around your house?
Yeah, we got a little patch now. It's got some fences and stuff. It's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
You out, young man?
Yeah.
Appreciate you, sir. Always.
So why y'all still recording? I hit y'all with one last you thought I had.
All right, Junior said, listen to this before you go.
I was gonna say it done better, but either way, listen. So I watched dang near I think every season of the show called Evil, and basically it's about a once Christian, now atheist. I think she's a lawyer. Then you have a black Catholic priest, and then you have a guy of Arab descent, and he is like their science guy. And basically, they go around. Well, they basically been hired by the church, basically to figure out if miracles are real. You know what I'm saying? They point them to this different little things, and basically have them go and see if these things are real or whatever. But basically, what it is, I feel like the whole basis of the show, what the writers were trying to do, is like show people like. One, like, we've taken religion out of everything. You feel me? Take the religion and all that. They think of that as mumbo jumbo. Take that out of the equation first off, is how they want that. Like, they want people to think first off, and then also take away like the even the care of religion. We don't even care what you are. You know what I'm saying? That first, and then corporeal evil. Like, you want to say physical evil. What's real right now? Like, that can sneak in very much easier. Like the stuff that was basically rules against in the Bible and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can put it in very easily with everything else because it doesn't even matter. And then like it's like showing like basically the reaction to people with like devout worship of Satan. Like, yeah, we're with that. Like, okay.
So basically, it's
like,
a corrupting of society.
Okay, so, but it's like, it's what's actually happening right now. Like, if you think about it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we being broken away from the religious part of anything. So, long story short, if you sin and you don't know that it's a sin, why would you ask for forgiveness?
Right.
You know? And if we can make the world operate.
I think because of pain.
Yeah, and also, unless your soul is totally just disconnected, you feel when you're wrong. You feel out of balance.
But
which I'm likening to pain at one level or another.
But don't you guys kind of feel like, I think this is another point of the story, like, the values of the world right now are not those values anymore.
Of course.
So it's like, the more devout you are, the more... Like, you're almost on the lines of like being canceled now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you say like you're too devout. Hey, you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't like to hear that. But like I said, they'll never say that to like somebody like a Satanist or somebody who is a small, in theory, a small minority group. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
Yeah,
are you trying to discriminate against me in this largely not Satanist world? Maybe not Satanist, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just what I'm saying.
Maybe
like,
not Satanist. Yeah, that's an interesting twist.
That's just how I feel about it. The world is evil, and I feel like a lot of it is like I said, like it relates back to all that spiritual stuff. Like, I feel like if evil people were allowed to get up top and make the rules and the vibe and the fad of the time, then that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And like he said, like, yeah, you feel in your heart that this is wrong and this is wrong, but then they tell you about the stuff that you feel is wrong in your heart being right at school now. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like what is really the conversation is really like about what your parents teach you.
No.
At the end of the day,
right is wrong,
and then
and
at
wrong
the end of the
is
day,
right.
What your parents teach you.
That's my little Tommy Boy story.
What you teach your kid right now can get your child canceled. Can end up with them in the principal's office.
Hell, in the slammer.
Yeah, exactly. Because you told them the wrong thing to believe, even though you believe it to be right, and what you were told is that it was right.
The laws are changing.
Yeah, and it's like who are these laws for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Are they for the God-fearing person, or are they for the person that's here trying to create without God?
Push that knob on the back of that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say too much, but it's obvious. Yeah.
Which one?
Killing
either one.
Dying.
It don't matter.
Thank you.
I just didn't want it to fall.
Yeah, like I was saying, evil is the opposite of living. You put it back, evil is still led backwards. So evil is the opposite of living. That's why they show you that. That's why they put that in
the back of the light.
That's why they take Christianity out, because Christianity has hope of mental elevation.
Calmer.
That's why.
Yeah, you can cut it down.
I love y'all.
Yeah, cuz be safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. I needed
Dude,
that.
Yeah, always.
Dude, me too. That worked out good.
Let me cut this off. We got our little video in.
Oh, I thought it ended when the beep started.
I recorded for 2 hours.
That last one, that's that show I was telling you about, Dad. It's like, look, they even showing examples of like people just like doubting God. Like damn near, the point of the show is to show you like this is an obvious and apparent show of God, right?